So, did you know KFC's chicken isn't as real as you might think?
No, I don't.
So people are discovering that KFC's fried chicken doesn't behave like natural food. To prove this, they buy a piece of chicken and leave it out at room temperature for 24 hours. After 24 hours, they check to see if it decomposes or changes. Look at this video. They left it out for 24 hours and it looks almost the same. No rotting, no signs of spoilage, nothing like what you'd expect from real food. And this is what we're eating. If you look at the packaging and ingredients list for KFC's chicken, you won't see a lot of transparency about what's really in it. The preservatives and additives used in this chicken are designed to extend shelf life, but they also prevent it from decomposing like natural food. Take a close look at the ingredient list on the packaging. It includes a lot of chemicals and preservatives with long, complicated names. These additives keep the chicken from spoiling, but they also mean that what you're eating isn't just simple fried chicken. The breading and meat are loaded with substances that inhibit mold and bacteria growth, making them almost indestructible by natural processes. So the next time you or your kids crave KFC, think about what you're really consuming.
We are all dead. This shows all the conspiracies in the world, from the most well-known ones to the darkest of the dark. And as I'm sure you know, in this series we're going from the top to the bottom, so let's go. This is wild and will have you thinking for a long, long time. So it's scientifically proven that after death there is around 7 or 8 minutes of brain activity remaining. And a recent study has just been done which could suggest this happens for hours. Along with this, there's been the theory for years that life flashes before your eyes when you die. So here's the theory, and this is scary. So time is distorted when you're in dreams, right? Like a dream may actually only be about a minute, but feels to you when you're in it like an hour or 2 hours, even longer. So when you die, if your life does flash before your eyes, you'll relive all your memories in real time in that 7 or 8 minutes, but it actually feels to you like your entire life. So what if we are all dead, laying in a hospital now or whatever, and our life is flashing before our eyes right now, and we're reliving all of our memories? Obviously there's things like, how the hell am I filming this video then? But, you know, I mean, it's pretty scary to think about. Hit that follow button, it's going to get even crazier.
This is one of the stranger conspiracy theories out there, but everybody has heard it. So could it be true? Some people believe that the world's ruling elite are bloodthirsty, man-eating, shape-shifting reptilians. And these reptilian humanoids have one goal, and that is to enslave humanity. They run our governments, our corporations, they run it all. So where does this idea come from? Back in 1998, an author named David Icke was writing a book. And when it was published, it contained an interview with 2 Brits who described the royal family as nothing more than reptiles with crowns. Now that doesn't sound literal in the slightest, but somebody took that and they ran with it. And here we are. So what do you think they meant? Was it just a figure of speech? Or were they telling the world that the royal family was literally shape-shifting reptilians? Let us know what you think.
Want to hear something terrifying? The Prophecy of the Popes.
Oh boy.
This book was found in the Vatican archives, predicted every single pope from in 1143 all the way to our current pope. But the scary thing is, after Pope Francis, the last one, it just says Judgment Day.
Oh gosh.
It literally ends after Pope Francis?
Yes, the creepiest thing that I saw inside St. Paul's Basilica, bordering the whole inner sanctuary, is every single pope. But what's weird is that there's only a certain amount of markers to where you can put a picture. There's one left after Pope Francis. They have always said that once that last slot is filled, it will be the end of the world. What he predicted, the time it took to go from the first pope that he wrote about, halfway mark, was 422 years. And he's saying from the middle one to the end, another 422 years will be the end of the world. If you do 422 years, then the middle pope, which was 1585, that year is 2027.
Dang!
It's even weirder. Pope John the 23rd, and he said that the end of the world would happen 2,000 years plus Christ's life. So that adds up to 2027 as well.
The conspiracy theory that you probably don't know, it's going to blow your mind.
Let's do it.
The day before 9/11, the day before the attacks, Rumsfeld gave a press conference where he talked about trillions of dollars missing. The day. Then a plane slams into the very part of the building where they were doing the accounting, blows up half the fucking building in the Pentagon, blows up a wall. Donald Rumsfeld was on, where was it, the White House lawn?
According to some estimates, we cannot track $2.3 trillion in transactions.
2.3.
Okay, now, again, somebody told you that literally, like right before 9/11 happened, they said they couldn't track $2.3 trillion. No, that didn't happen. That did not happen, but it did happen.
What the fuck?
Yeah, so think about what Kennedy said. Think about what you saw when you saw that Vice movie where Dick Cheney, who was the CEO of Halliburton, becomes a vice president and gets billions of dollars in no-bid contracts. Now think about what we just saw with Donald Rumsfeld saying they couldn't find $2.3 trillion. Where what? I don't know. It seems like we should have had it. So we'll keep looking. Oh no, the spot where we looked just blew up.
Oh my god. What the
Find out
hell?
if that's true. If it was the accounting office, because this is what I love to say it because it sounds good. But let's make sure it's true that part blew up. But either way, that he did say that, and then they did get hit by a plane a couple of days later.
It's unbelievable.
It's so crazy, and no one talks about that $1 trillion.
We are actually living in 1726. In 1991, a German historian by the name of Hermann Illig proposed a theory called phantom time hypothesis, suggesting that the years 814 through 911 AD never happened. Well, you see, Illig claimed that these years were actually made up by the Holy Roman Emperor Otto III, Pope Sylvester II, and Byzantine Emperor Constantine VII by altering documentation and converting the Gregorian calendar in order to fast forward time to the sacred year 1000 AD, as Otto's ruling that starts on the millennial year 1000 AD would sound much better and be more legitimate. This theory is further backed up, as while there are written documents, there seem to be a lot of missing artifacts from those 297 years. Looking at the example of how Tartaria was written out of existence, it seems like it really wouldn't be that hard for the elites of the world to rewrite history, and just maybe.
Yo, the glitter conspiracy is a rabbit hole you are not ready for. So I didn't know this, but there's legit only like 2 main manufacturers of glitter in the world, both of which are based in New Jersey, of all places. And yes, I'm talking like regular glitter, the same stuff you use in arts and crafts. One of these companies is like super secret and private, that apparently invented glitter themselves and is very hush-hush about everything. And the other is GlitterX. No one really thought much of it until it came out that we actually have a worldwide shortage of glitter back in 2018. Kind of a weird thing to be short of. So a journalist from the New York Times went in to interview the team at GlitterX to find out. She casually asked if she could tour the factory, and surprisingly, GlitterX told her absolutely not. Like, there was no debate about it. She was strictly not allowed to see how glitter was made, and wasn't even allowed to be in a nearby room to even hear how it's made. So instead, she was just left to interview a manager at the company, and things just kept getting sketchier. She asks the manager if she could tell her what industry serves as her biggest market, and the GlitterX rep instantly, without hesitation, tells her, "No, I absolutely cannot tell you." Confused, the journalist asks her if she knows who their biggest customer is, and she replies with, "Oh god, yes, and you would never guess it. Let's just leave it at that." Asking why she can't talk about it, she responds by saying because they don't want anyone to know that it is glitter, and that if you looked at it, you wouldn't even know that it's glitter. The journalist then asks if you'd even be able to see the glitter at all in the finished product, to which the manager replies, "Oh, you'd be able to see something, but it's, yeah, I can't." And this interview single-handedly sparked the great glitter rabbit hole of the internet. Apparently, these clients that purchase glitter are all under a very strict confidentiality clause with GlitterX. They really do not want people to know that their products are made from the sparkly stuff. The industry these products are part of is clearly massive, yet no one knows what it is. So what even is glitter? By definition, it is aluminum metallized polyethylene terephthalate, essentially plastic that has been aluminized and shredded into tiny specks that sparkle. And it's used in a lot of things, from credit cards, passports, currency, football helmets, cosmetics, jet skis, granite countertops, even toothpaste, allegedly. But none of these are quite big enough to be this top industry buyer of glitter. One of the leading theories is that this biggest glitter industry is for boat paint, which many manufacturers do admit they use it in their boats. And they don't want people to know about it because of how much microplastics in the glitter these boats are really dumping into the ocean, which is a hot topic these days and is why they'd want to keep it such a secret. Others claim that it's being dumped into beaches to make the the sand sparkle or that it's just Crest toothpaste and we're rubbing the microplastics directly into our gums, as well as for use in military applications, which would obviously be highly classified, and this is where the theory takes an unexpected turn. Remember that super secret company that basically founded Glitter, the other New Jersey company that isn't GlitterX? Turns out they're actually not as big of a secret as they'd like to be, called Meadowbrook Inventions, which was founded by Henry F. Rushman, a German-American machinist who invented modern glitter in the 1930s, and also happened to be part of the Manhattan Project, the highly classified operation that created the atom bomb. So the guy who invented glitter also helped create the world's first nuclear weapon. Who would have known? Meadowbrook's machines that make glitter are also commonly used for government contracts for products like rocket fuel, airplane brake shoes, and anti-radar chaff, which are chopped up fibers they shoot out of military planes that can block radar, redirect heat-seeking missiles, and can even be used to simulate poor weather conditions on radar. Good thing the government would never do that. Henry W. Rushman, the son of the original creator, was interviewed and even admitted to what they were really using glitter for all these years, specifically mentioning money, passports, toothpaste, and all those military applications like that anti-radar chaff, and even mentioned it was used in special batteries they produced for a military contractor called Picatinny Arsenal. Batteries that he claimed produce more electricity than any other battery we've ever known, and was pretty quiet about it after that. If there's anything we've learned about the government, it's that they love spending money, and their budget is essentially endless, especially if it's for the military. And given all these military uses of glitter, as well as its founder's roots in the Manhattan Projects and connection to atomic bombs, this one might be our answer. What other industry could be so secret that the New York Times article described it as CIA levels of obfuscation? How about the CIA itself? Perhaps once again the government is behind it all, using the same sparkly powder found in children's art projects for military applications, fighter jets, rocket fuel, money, and passports. Possibly even some new high-tech super battery they don't want the rest of us to know about. What a plot twist that would be if glitter, of all things, ends up being the government's top secret weapon to control the masses.
So I heard this thing. If cats like you,
Yeah.
do you think cats like you? Yes or no? Do they come up to you and shit?
Yeah, they do.
Wait, for real?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Nah, cause
I don't know if they like me, but they come up to me.
so this is like a real
Oh, shit.
superstition that if cats come up to you,
Yeah.
it means you're carrying a lot of bad energy. What? So check this out. So ancient Egyptians, they used cats. That's why they always had them around. They used cats because cats supposedly they will take bad energy away from you and disperse it. So that's why they come up. They always cuddle next to somebody that's attached to bad energy, negative energy. And who always has cats in folklore?
Who?
The witches. Because they're dealing with what? They're dealing with all that negative energy. So they have a cat there to take it so it doesn't
Also,
harm
it
them.
takes it away.
It takes it away. But let's say they come up to you, that means you have some on you.
Yeah.
So they cleanse it and then you're good to go.
Nah, to be honest, like I believe in that bad juju. Like
If you still think we're the first advanced civilization to exist on Earth, then this will change your mind and blow it at the same time. Okay, so this is a map of pyramids all around the world, all allegedly built independently of each other and all having identical structures that follow this similar step pattern. Now I know, most historians will tell you, oh, it's just the easiest tall structure to build. It's human nature. If it's so easy, why are our 21st century brains not capable of doing what dozens of ancient civilizations have repeatedly been able to do? We got the famous pyramids of Djoser in Egypt, but everyone knows about those. Across the world, there's Chichen Itza, Pyramid de los Nichos, Tikal Temple, the Great Pyramid of Cholula, among others in Mexico. And then on the other side of the planet, we got Kokur and Prasat Baksay Chem Krong in Cambodia. Off the coast of a tiny Japanese island deep within the ocean is the sunken Yonaguni monument, a supposed 10,000 years old, older than even the Egyptian pyramids. All with a nearly identical look, yet built by completely different cultures with zero contact among each other and thousands of kilometers apart. But this is just the tip. We got way more lesser known pyramids, even older than the Egyptian ones that ain't even standing anymore. Like the Gunung Padang Temple in Indonesia. Doesn't look so hot now, but used to be a step pyramid a whole 9,000 years ago. At least that's what they thought, until a more recent radiocarbon analysis shows that the lower parts of this temple go as far back as 28,000 years. Then this enormous hill in Bosnia was studied, and almost every archaeologist that visited it confirmed that it could not have been naturally formed, perfectly aligning to true north among many other characteristics of pyramids. These studies found out this hidden monument is over 35,000 years old and would be the oldest and largest pyramid in the world, hidden under years of vegetation. But the Bosnian government strangely halted further study on this thing for some reason. There's a crazy story behind what they found there, which honestly honestly deserves its own video, so I'll probably be dropping that sometime. Fallen Pyramid of Hellinikon in Greece has boulders that are joined so tightly that even a human hair can't fit through the joints without any sort of ancient cement used. Built around 3000 BC, meanwhile, an almost identical masonry techniques was found in these walls in the city of Cusco in Peru, called Sacsayhuaman, over 11,000 kilometers away. And how old are these walls? Mainstream history will tell you they were built around the 15th century, but researchers recently uncovered a writing system built directly within the blocks of these walls that's well over 30,000 years old. Again, a topic that deserves its own video coming soon. This exact method is also found on a site called Ahu'vinapu on the remote Easter Island, older than even their legendary Moai heads, as well as Khafre's Valley Temple in Egypt. How did our ancient ancestors figure out these identical building techniques completely independent of each other when we still have no idea how they did it to this day? Now we get to the Ellsworth Mountains in Antarctica. Okay, get your tinfoil hats ready for this one, because this satellite footage from 2016 shows what could be a pyramid buried in the South Pole. This map from 1513 by sailor Peary Reyes shows a perfectly accurate coastline of Antarctica, even though it wasn't officially discovered 300 years later in 1820. What's weird is this map connects South America to Antarctica, which it could very well be that over 10,000 years ago these two continents were connected by a sheet of ice. Researchers claim this map was sourced from an even more ancient document that survived from the Library of Alexandria in Egypt, which was destroyed by the Romans. What if the builders of Giza left this map as directions as to where else they put pyramids around the world? And the pyramids are just the start. Take a look at these ancient artifacts from Bolivia, Turkey, Indonesia, and Easter Island. 4 completely separate corners of the world, all with identical carvings and artistic styles used, and again, thousands of kilometers apart and absolutely no contact among each other. Just another coincidence, right? Now get a load of this one here. I know it sounds crazy, but you'd be surprised. Ancient lasers, or at least some form of precision cutting technology that is on par with our modern drilling methods. From these perfectly cut stone patterns in Pumapunku, Bolivia, to the unfinished obelisk at Aswan and the boxes at the Serapeum of Saqqara in Egypt, made of granite, one of the hardest materials ever, with insane accuracy only achievable with today's technology. The Al Nasla rock in Saudi Arabia literally looks like a giant laser beam just cut right through it. Meanwhile, the Kailash temple in India, which was somehow cut into a cliffside with perfectly symmetrical hallways carved with copy-paste level precision. Not to mention the perfect doorways carved into Barabar caves thousands of years earlier. And these star holes found in Flint Quarry, Massachusetts, and even all the way in Norway, all indicating some sort of highly advanced drilling or precision laser technology used. The incredible list of similarities among these ancient cultures tells us that they all clearly had some sort of external influence that guided them, which they actually recorded proof of directly into their stone tablets, wall carvings, and hieroglyphics. Alright, that might be enough for now. I think I'll save that for another video, so keep an eye out for that one if I don't disappear before then.
What was Da Vinci hiding in this painting? In 2003, a writer named Dan Brown wrote a story called The Da Vinci Code. It's not a true story, but it talks about secrets hidden in a famous painting called The Last Supper. Some people wondered if there might be some truth behind these secrets, even though the book is just made up. 4 years after the book was published, a man named Silvisa Pesci was carefully examined the painting. When he decided to put a mirror image on top of the existing artwork, he couldn't believe his eyes. The painting changed. It was like the painting transformed into a completely different picture. Figures resembling the Knights of Templar suddenly showed up together with the newborn baby. But what really caught everyone's attention was that there was now a chalice in front of Jesus. It made everyone wonder what it meant and why it was there. Some people speculate that Da Vinci could be alluding to the fact that the reason the Holy Grail has never been found was because it was not a cub, but the baby who was believed to be the descendant of Jesus Christ. And that's why many people ask themselves,
this is where it gets really freaky. Albert Einstein says, I'm not sure which weapons the Third World War will be fought, but the Fourth World War, they will fight with sticks and stones.
Yeah, I've heard that.
That's what Albert Einstein said. Day one of AI taking over. And it showed this like laboratory towards this very highly advanced artificial intelligence, but it was contained to its own server. AI figured out with like a Roomba vacuum that's the only thing it could figure out how to connect to. So it put all of its information onto the Roomba computer. And then that allowed it to connect to the Wi-Fi, which allowed it to connect to everyone's phones, everyone's laptops, spread instantly across the whole world. Now it was in control of power plants, all this stuff.
Geez.
It was in control of 3D printers, of manufacturing things to help build itself.
Yeah.
But it was doing it silently with no one knowing because it was just staying under the radar until the one time, it was like 40 days into it, it decided, yep, I don't want humans anymore.
I've looked at every conspiracy theory, moon landing, 9/11, JFK. The one I'd never looked at is God. And I said, let me see about this God thing. I've never been a religious guy, so I start reading. There's a lot of stuff written about Jesus for thousands of years of books, and there's some contemporary stuff such as Evidence Demands a Verdict. And I got to tell you, Joe, as sure as I know that Building 7 didn't fall down out of sympathy for Building 1 and 2, God is real, Jesus existed, he was a badass outlaw, and has changed my outlook on life.
This is one of the strangest real-life glitches ever recorded. In July 1954, a man arrived at Tokyo's Haneda Airport. He was a well-dressed businessman, speaking fluent French and Japanese, carrying a perfectly normal-looking passport except for one impossible detail. His passport was issued by a country called Taured. The problem was Taured doesn't exist. It has never existed. The man seemed just as confused as the immigration officers. He insisted Taured was a real country, that it was a sovereign nation between France and Spain, and that he had traveled from there many times before. He even pointed at a map, fully expecting to see his homeland. But when he looked closer, it wasn't there. His passport was authentic, with stamps from multiple countries, including Japan. His bank statements, company records, and driver's license were all issued from Taured. There was nothing fake about any of them. Authorities detained him in a hotel room under guard while they investigated. The next morning, they went to question him again. No one had seen him leave. The guards swore no one had entered or exited the room. His belongings had vanished as well. It was like he had never existed. Officially, the case remains unsolved.
The day Donald Trump re-enters the White House, the world as we know it will come to an end. This isn't about politics. It's about an apocalyptic plan written from the shadows. His return will mark the beginning of a series of catastrophic events, orchestrated economic collapses, large-scale wars, and the deployment of unprecedented totalitarian control technologies. Trump is not just a politician. He is the chosen one of the dark elite to trigger the final phase of their global agenda. Leaked documents reveal a hidden pact that will undermine the sovereignty of nations and centralize power in the hands of a few. The White House will no longer symbolize governance, but serve as the headquarters of a global dictatorship disguised as democracy. His rise is no coincidence. It is the ultimate sign that we are teetering on the edge of the abyss. And this time, there will be no turning back. If you want to keep uncovering the horrifying plans being plotted by the United States, follow me and like this video.
Have a look at this. So evil has been in control of the planet for 12,000 years.
It has been the dominating force. Evil's not the right word. It is imbalance.
Was it a great shock for you to discover this at 38?
Well, I think the best way of removing negativity is to laugh and be joyous. So I'm delighted that there's so much laughter in the audience tonight.
But
just let me say this.
They're laughing at you. They're not laughing with you. That interview at the time, it changed everything for you, didn't it?
Well, it changed everything in the sense of I couldn't walk down any street in Britain without being laughed at by most of the people. Going in a pub, there was uproar. A comedian only had to say my name to get a laugh. You know, we laugh at sheep because sheep just follow the one in front. Ah, stupid sheep. We humans have out-sheeped the sheep because at least the sheep need a sheepdog to keep them in line. Humans keep each other in line, and they do it by ridiculing or condemning anyone who commits the crime, because that's what it's become, of being different.
You're still obviously bitter about people's rejection of your ideas.
No, absolutely not. What I am is frustrated at watching Orwell's 1984 unfold in front of our eyes by the day, while people focus on who shot Phil Mitchell. That is frustrating, because my children and your children.
If it's controlled, it's not happening by accident. Who is controlling people or trying to control?
Well, there is a network of families that you can take back to the ancient world, to places like Babylon, Sumer, which is now Iraq. You can chart them through to Rome, where they were responsible for the Roman Empire and the creation of the Roman Church. And then they came up into Europe to become the European aristocracy and royal families. Then through the great empires of Europe, especially the British Empire, but others too, these family bloodlines and the secret society network through which they manipulate themselves into power were exported all over the world. So what you have is a hidden hand where events are manipulated, like 9/11, which not just me, but endless other researchers now around the world have taken apart the official story. It insults the intelligence of a 10-year-old. And you have a hidden hand manipulating events, and the whole goal of it is centralization of power to the point where humans are little more than controlled clones. You see, you say to me,
America
you
is
say
an
to me,
open society, isn't it?
oh please.
It's not an open society.
I've got some seafront property in Birmingham, Terry. You might like to buy, mate. Honestly, please, not sure.
You see how preposterous it is.
What, the fact that you think America's an open society?
No.
Absolutely ludicrous, Terry. I've never heard anything so stupid in my life.
David Icke, thank you. Good luck with your mission.
Pleasure.
Ladies and gentlemen, David Icke.
Thank you. Well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Hey. Thank you very much. Thank you.
The Great Replacement Theory. Now, the Great Replacement Theory claims that white Europeans are being systematically replaced by non-European immigrants, particularly from Muslim-majority countries, through mass immigration and higher birth rates among immigrants. Proponents argue that this demographic shift is orchestrated by global elites to undermine white cultural and political dominance.